All right, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations, educations. Welcome back to the Radical Independent. My name is Dave, and this is my little channel here. I want to thank my friend Charles for inviting me on his program, which is called the Vigilant Independent. I'm radical, he's vigilant. We need all kinds of independent voices out here, folks. And, you know, the more, the better. And again, thanks to all of you who are subscribing to this channel, who have donated via PayPal or Patreon. Your support is very much appreciated. I told people about Bloomberg. I told people about Steyer. And here, Elizabeth Warren is, she's catching up to me here. Elizabeth Warren, whose campaign is in free fall right now, as I've predicted this, I was about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the curve on this. I said prior to the last debate that I believe Elizabeth Warren had peaked, and her performance at that debate was abysmal, I thought, and also her answers on Medicare for all continue to hurt her chances. As other candidates, other what I call establishment billionaires, or at least guys with very deep pockets. Is Tom Steyer a billionaire? I think he is. I don't know. I know he was a hedge fund guy. He has a personal vendetta against Donald Trump, and that is why. And by the way, both Bloomberg and Steyer are running exclusively on climate change. Okay, and as much as I think that's an issue, it's not the issue I think that's going to sway Trump voters to come on over and check out someone else's campaign. If you're going to talk about forgiving, again, Bernie Sanders, although he talks climate change a lot, existential threat, so forth, when I wake up in the morning, I'm more worried about paying bills and making ends meet, and if I rent, which I've rented in the past, I really worry about the cost of housing. I know Bloomberg, that's part of his shtick. But, you know, I'm looking at both of these guys and saying, hey, authoritarianism, that's what it is. It's authoritarian. In any event, let's dig into this article from The Hill. Senator Elizabeth Warren on Tuesday swiped at businessman Tom Steyer and former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg following a shakeup in the 2020 White House race, with Kamala Harris ending her White House bid. See how convenient that is, too, by the way? I was going to comment on this yesterday. I think the fact that Bloomberg got in with endless amounts of money, and Kamala Harris saying, I don't have any more money, it's not just a mere coincidence. You know, Kamala Harris was Hillary Clinton's protege. Hillary Clinton, by the way, was talking about Kamala Harris during her wonderful interview with Howard Stern. And by the way, Howard, what the heck is wrong with you? I mean, let's interview one of the most despicable political figures really in the last 50 years. Seriously, one of the most corrupt and despicable figures. As much as, you know, if I know Howard probably doesn't like Trump, but Howard and Trump were kind of from the same sort of family tree. And what I mean by that is they're both part of the entertainment culture. They're both kind of lewd people. They're just, I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, at least go libertarian, Howard. You know what I mean? At least find somebody you can talk to who's not an establishment hack like Hillary Clinton. It's just, hack is a nice word. So anyway, Warren is upset that that both Bloomberg and Steyer are in. By the way, Steyer has been in for a while, Liz. And this is the first time you're lamenting his entry. By the way, again, I was talking about Tom Steyer weeks ago. Tom Steyer is showing up in polls. He's on the debate stage where he wasn't So Warren laments that Harris and Gillibrand are out. Okay? Again, maybe this might be a girl power issue. I don't know. We're forced to end their campaigns while she asserted that wealthier candidates, such as Bloomberg and Steyer, were able to buy their way into the race. Well, that's true. That's true. And it is, as much as I don't like Elizabeth Warren, she's calling this out. Number one, she's calling this out because she wants to continue to try to occupy that progressive lane. The problem with Elizabeth Warren is that minus the money and the rhetoric and sort of paying lip service to progressive or independent ideas, I do believe that Warren has way more in common with Bloomberg and Steyer than her soundbite would lead you to believe. I'm just throwing it out there. I think she would be quite happy with a Bloomberg presidency or a Steyer presidency. All right, Kamala Harris and Kristen Gillibrand, two women senators who together won more than 11.5 million votes in their last elections. Someone had to look that up and to write it out. Have been forced out of this race while billionaires Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg have been allowed to buy their way in, Warren wrote in a fundraising email. I need money. By the way, this is really the evil of money in politics. And again, that's why Tulsi Gabbard is such a great candidate. And Bernie Sanders too, because it's individual contributions. The problem is the system is still broken. So, and it's funny because Elizabeth Warren has said she doesn't believe in unilateral disarmament when it comes to fundraising. That's a clever way of saying, look, I'll take corporate donations. I mean, she should be running down and shaking corporations down for, so she can keep up with these two billionaires. Running for president shouldn't be a passion project for bored billionaires. Billionaires shouldn't have the power to recruit their other billionaire friends into the race or make threats about what they'll do to the American economy if they don't get their way, she added. That's an apparent reference to reports that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos asked Bloomberg to enter the race. Warren's rhetoric echoed Harris's own email to supporters, announcing she was suspending her campaign Tuesday. She says, I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign. Well, Kamala Harris, if you actually had support, grassroots support, and you were doing well in the polls, the money wouldn't be an issue. But you have to compete with money because you really don't have a message. And again, like Bloomberg and Steyer, again, climate change, although an important issue, is not going to win you an election. I know there are a lot of progressives that put it out there, we're close to extinction. I don't know. If we were close to extinction, I think the whole world right now would be on edge. And the whole world is not. Maybe we are. Maybe we're 50 or 100 years away from total extinction. And you think, sitting here in my chair, that would really worry me, but I just don't know. I'm just being honest. I'm a skeptic. I'm not a denier. I'm a skeptic as to how we fix it. We created a huge problem. How do you fix it? And if we're the only ones going to shell out money and participate in trying to fix it, it's not going to get fixed because these emerging countries, like these industrial countries like India and China, are going to create a ton of carbon and dump it into the atmosphere. China is building a ton of coal plants, aren't they? From what I remember reading. So this is why cooperation, again, the Tulsi Gabbard philosophy of, hey, let's have some diplomacy. Let's talk about all these coal plants and how we believe it's destroying the earth. You can't have that conversation. By the way, any of these candidates, here's another kicker on this, okay, a very important line that I'm about to assert here, which if your top issue or one of your top issues is climate change, and you're not for scaling back the military, then you're just blowing smoke. Literally. You're literally blowing smoke. Because until you reduce the military's footprint around the world, militaries create huge amounts of carbon and contribute to climate change more than you and I. All right? Our little cars driving around, not even comparable, okay, to what the military is doing. Now, I know, collectively speaking, all the cars on planet Earth probably emit more. But what I'm saying is, if you're serious about the climate change issue, then you should be equally serious about reducing our military footprint around the world. Okay? Throw that out there to your friends. Anybody who believes, like Tom Steyer, and again, especially Bloomberg, do you think either Tom Steyer or Mike Bloomberg is going to be a less interventionist when it comes to foreign policy? No way. Senator Amy Klobuchar, another 2020 presidential hopeful, bobbing her head as she gave this response, also took shots at the two candidates on ABC's The View on Tuesday, saying, "I don't think America looks at the guy in the White House and says, let's find someone richer." Well, a little knock, yeah. There's kind of, again, how do you beat a billionaire who's already in the White House? Well, you recruit more billionaires. And again, the Democrats are in complete disarray. If you're a Democrat and you've stumbled upon this video because the algorithm malfunctioned, you've got to look at your own party right now and go, this is a mess. And this is why a lot of times I advocate for we need a way around. We need a third party. I will again suggest the Green Party. I think they need a better candidate than Howie Hawkins. I'm hoping that Jesse Ventura jumps in. I'm really hoping Tulsi Gabbard can somehow win the nomination. And if not Tulsi, then Bernie. And if not Bernie, then the whole thing is lost. It's a lost cause. Bloomberg, again, every morning when I turn on the television to watch local news, I'm getting Bloomberg ads on my local news here in Southwest Florida, which is incredibly red as far as the political climate. This is a red county I live in Lee County. I mean, you can't get redder than Lee County. All right? And Bloomberg's dumping money in like he's running a general election campaign. That is a scary premise. And Warren, even though she's a faker and she's got no shot at the nomination at this point, that's what I believe. I believe she's got no shot. She is going after these guys because it's torpedoing what's left of her campaign. So very interesting dynamics. Again, I told you all about Steyer. The day Bloomberg announced, I said the same thing. I said, all right, everyone knows who Biden is, all right? Biden will be erased by Bloomberg in a matter of weeks if he continues with this ad campaign. December, January, leading right through till Super Tuesday, I believe Bloomberg can spend 10% of his fortune, and he will, in order to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. Everybody's saying it's not going to go anywhere. Look, if you live in little progressive bubbles, all right, and you talk with other progressives who say Bernie, 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 Tulsi, Bernie, Bernie, Tulsi all day, I'll tell you what, when I walk around Florida, they know the big names. They know Biden, they know Trump, they know Hillary. Those are the names they know. It's like, and it's just bizarre how they don't know a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard. They don't know. Even my friend Charles yesterday, he was telling me the story about how his mother didn't know who Tulsi Gabbard was. You don't think the media blackout has been somewhat successful in obscuring these better candidates? Unless you're really into this stuff like I am. I mean, how many people out there know who Marianne Williamson is? Probably because she's written some spiritual books and she's co-produced some TV shows and so forth back in the 80s and 90s. But a lot of people don't know who she is. And it's a testimony to how strong and how pervasive the media's influence and control is over this entire process. And Tulsi Gabbard, by the way, called that out prior to threatening to boycott the last debate she was in. And at this stage, I kind of wish she had boycotted the debate, although she got in some great swings against Little Mayor Pete, who I believe is another guy who might be in for a bit of a rude awakening, even though he's the darling right now. The media is going to say, well, wouldn't the Bloomberg Trump thing be great for ratings? Or the Steyer Trump thing, wouldn't that be great for ratings? Bloomberg from New York, Trump from New York, old buddies, Bloomberg and Trump. I think if you go back through all the Apprentice episodes, there is one where Bloomberg is doing something on the show, and he and Trump are palling around and having a great time. Folks, we have to get a hold of this process. And if this truly is a democracy, which I'm not sure it is anymore, then we have to have better candidates getting to the top, and it can't be about money. But again, just like all the other brainwashing that happens on television, the drug companies, you turn on any television show, prime time, from say 8 at night until 10, 11 at night, you're going to get big pharma commercials one after another. And a lot of these shows, by the way, whether it's NCIS or Hawaii Five-0 or FBI, they all glorify the military-industrial complex. SWAT, militarizing the police. Let's show the militarized police in action. Let's bring back a show from the late 1970s and put a more violent twist on it with a few politically correct narratives that don't obfuscate the fact the show is all about blowing crap up and raiding places and shooting people up and so forth. Why do you think we're in the state we're in right now? It's not, by the way, pacifism right now, even though I think blind pacifism is a bit naive, it would still be better than what we have now. If someone comes along and says, I'm just for peace because I think peace is better than war, I'm going to say amen. Amen to that. It's better than war. But what do we keep doing? We keep promoting, we look at everybody as a hero. Oh, are you going to give? No, and again, I know soldiers and their families have it rough. Recently down here in Florida, it was revealed up in, was it McGill Air Force Base, that the housing that these veterans have up there, these currently serving military veterans, they are, it's like there's mold and there's stuff growing in there, and it's just nasty. And I don't think, you sign up for this stuff, I don't think you should be treated that way. But on the other side of the coin, it's like we're promoting the crap out of this. We're telling kids out of high school this is what they ought to do with their lives. And Bloomberg and Steyer, they're going to keep sending these kids off to these misguided wars, and people are going to needlessly die, both our people and people in other countries. And diplomacy is going to be just, it's again, it always takes a back seat. And it's a shame. So again, Elizabeth Warren kind of flailing at Steyer and Bloomberg. Yes, what she's saying is true, but the messenger herself has got issues, and the reason she's flailing is because she knows that these guys are taking the air out of the oxygen out of the room that she was in, and her lane is getting smaller and smaller. And, if you're going to go progressive, like real progressive, it's Bernie or Tulsi. It's not Elizabeth Warren. I'm just telling you, people. All right, I'm done with this video. Don't forget to check my latest video over on Rockfin, where I have this long dialogue with the Vigilant Independent, guy by the name of Charles, who does a great job on his channel, and we talk about these issues and more. And I think you get like an hour-long video or something. It's crazy. It took me a long time to upload that, but check it out over on Rockfin. And if you're not a subscriber here, please do that. Please watch the videos. And if you feel compelled, you can do one-time donations on PayPal, and I will put the email address where you can link that donation to in the description box of this video. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.